not far from Coltsville. Maybe we can find some shelter there.
Shelter?
What do you mean, Hoppy?
Look at that storm ahead of us.
Holy smoke.
Guess you're right, Hoppy. And I don't want to get soggy as a dunk donut.
Son, I remember once, back in '86. It rained so hard I had to tie a log on each side of my horse to keep him floating down the trail.
California, every time you tell that story, it gets wetter. Now, come on, before you drown yourself. This looks like a good place for us to stop.
But that's a church.
Well, what about it? It's not a bad place to spend a little time once in a while. Well, let's get the food and blankets off. We'll go inside and eat and bed down for the night.
Boy, I'm hungry. What are you fixing for supper, California?
I don't know. I ain't never cooked in a church before, and the only thing I ever ate in one was humble pie from my sin.
That'll be a full 9-course meal. For me, I'll just give thanks for the beans. How you coming?
Good. Hoppy, we're due for a storm.
Sure sounds like it.
Gee, this looks like a ghost church.
It is. So's the town it belongs to. I've never been here before, but I remember hearing about how everybody moved away from here.
Yeah, and I'd just as soon go with them. This place gives me the creeps. What was that?
Oh, probably just a shutter banging in the wind. Kind of drafty in here. Let's see what's in here. Oh, this looks better.
Smells kind of musty.
Oh, this'll do fine, California, and so will a little food.
Coming right up, Hoppy.
Oh, listen to that wind blow. Sure glad we got those cattle markets.
Glad we got the price we did for them, too. Now I can relax and take it easy.
You mean we're just going to sit around and wait for no good, healthy trouble?
California, if trouble's coming, it'll find you. You don't have to go looking for it. Lucky, I bet this old place could tell a lot of stories. Christenings, marriages, funerals, the whole span of life.
Well, I've already been christened, and I'm not looking forward to my funeral, so I'll take the marriage part.
That just shows how dumb a man can be. Marriage is worse than a funeral. At a marriage, your troubles just begin. At a funeral, they're over.
Now, how would you know? You haven't tried either one yet. Now, how about the grub? I'm hungry.
Sure. Beans, of course. But how about a little bacon with them?
Good enough.
There's somebody a-banging at the door.
Oh, that's just the wind again. I bet there isn't anybody in miles of this place.
I hope so.
Come on, get something ready to eat, will you? I'm sure glad we decided to stop here. So nice and quiet. Not a thing to disturb a good night's sleep.
I ain't so sure of that. I get a feeling in my bones that's mighty disturbing.
Oh, that's just your rheumatism. When I put my head on those saddlebags, not even the prettiest gal in the world could make me open my eyes.
If I was a gambling man, I wouldn't make any bets on that, would you?
Me neither.
Don't take the coffee.
No.
I'm gonna get this beautiful bed fixed right now.
You know, Hoppy, I think California's getting too old to make these trips with us. He's losing his nerve, always worried about something.
Oh, he'll never stop worrying because he likes it. He'll never lose his nerve because he's not built that way. You've seen him in plenty of tight spots.
Oh, I didn't mean it that way. It's just that tonight he seems kind of on edge.
Oh, it's probably this old church. He hasn't been in one for so long, it makes him nervous.
Well, whatever it is, I probably won't sleep a wink.
Well, I'm going to have another cup of coffee. I'll keep watch over you.
What was that?
What was what?
That noise. Sounded like someone a-moaning with their last breath.
I didn't hear anything. You must have been dreaming.
The people in my dreams don't go around making that kind of a noise. Didn't I tell you? There it is again. If it ain't a ghost, it's Gabriel a-blowing his horn.
Well, we'll soon find out.
There.
I don't see anything.
No. Lucky I've got a hunch. I think we've got an invisible musician in our midst.
What do you mean?
Here, hold this. Wait a minute. There you are. He's playing again. Who? The wind. When it blows through the pipes on that organ, one of them sounds off.
Oh, what do you know? Poor California. He thought his day had come.
How many of them was there?
Only one, but he was too big for us to handle.
He was so big he could blow you right over.
Blow us over.
Sure, that's what the wind does. When it blows through those pipes on the old organ out there, it makes the wheezer play.
Just what I thought it was. Nothing to get excited about. I'd have gone out there and seen for myself. You two hadn't gotten ahead of me.
Oh, sure. Now, will you go on and get some sleep? I want to finish my coffee.
Yeah, sure. No, somebody's ringing the doorbell. No, it ain't a doorbell. And it couldn't be a fire alarm. It's a summons to doomsday. Hoppy! Hoppy!
What is it now?
Things are happening again. Do you hear them bells?
Sure, I hear him. What about him?
It's the spirits, Hoppy. It's the spirits. They're trying to get even with me. Every time I ever went to church, I always fell asleep. Now they ain't never going to let me sleep again.
Well, if I felt that way about it, I'd go out and have a talk with them.
That's just what am I going to do? I'm a law-abiding man. Me and the spirits have got to come to an understanding.
Look, California, either make peace with your spirits or go bunk with the horses. I want to get some sleep.
All right, but I'm a-telling you, there's somebody or something meddling around out there.
Well, they'd have as much right here as we have. All right, I'll go with you.
You will? Well, that's downright accommodating of us. Right, Hoppy, let's separate and close in from both sides.
Yeah.
Whatever's ringing that bell is going to be too busy to notice us.
Oh, sure.
It's haunted.
Not half as much as I am by you. It's just the wind again.
By God, I give up. Now, this ain't fair.
Come on, get in here.
I'm all ready to fight and I ain't got nobody to fight with.
If you don't go to sleep, I'm going to give you a punch in the nose.
You won't have to. Just give him a chance.
Hoppy,
Yeah.
you hear what I do?
Yeah, the organ.
That wind has sure been taking music lessons.
Well, somebody's playing it.
You darn tootin'.
I've heard that song before. I think it's a hymn.
Well, that should prove it's no one with bad intentions.
I knew a wrestler once who was singing a hymn when they hanged him.
Let's find out what's going on. That's beautiful music. Oh, I'm sorry if we frightened you.
You did startle me. There's seldom anyone here.
Well, that's what we thought, so we came in here to spend the night out of the storm. I'm Hopalong Cassidy, and these are my two friends, California Carlson and Lucky Jenkins.
Glad to know you, ma'am.
Me too. I was thinking maybe it might be some angel out here playing.
And you were pretty nearly right.
I'm Susan Crowell, and this is my mother.
How do you do?
Susan's father was the pastor here, and he's buried in the churchyard. We come here each morning and evening to give simple prayer.
I understand, Mrs. Crow, and I'm sorry we were here to interrupt you. Did you say you and your daughter live near here?
Yes,
Oh, I thought this place was deserted.
it is, with the exception of Deacon Black and ourselves.
Deacon Black?
Oh, well, Mr. Black's not a real deacon. We just call him that because, well, he's a fine man who'll help Father with his work at church. When Father was killed, Mr. Black just decided to stay on, helping any way he could.
I see. Tell me, Mrs. Crow, what happened to the people here? Why did they abandon their homes?
Why, I don't like to talk about it. Bad luck has always come to those who have.
Well, I'll talk about it. All began about 4 months ago. It was a nice enough little town then, and all of a sudden a shadow fell over it.
What do you mean, Miss Crowley?
Well, people were afraid because there were shootings and strange disappearances. It got so no one knew who would be next, and they either kept their doors locked or started moving away.
Well, there must have been someone they suspected.
No, not a soul. That was the awful part of it. My own father was one of those who killed without warning, but we didn't move away like all the others.
I've seen a lot of trouble, but never without reason like this.
It's almost as if an evil spirit had swept through the whole valley, destroyed our happiness, for no apparent reason.
Had the same feeling ever since we've been here. This place ain't healthy for man or beast.
And if we just had a little more time, we'd stay around and see what makes it so unhealthy.
Oh, no, you mustn't do that. It's bound to cause more trouble. We ask only for peace and the privilege of coming to this little church.
Oh, don't worry, Mrs. Crow. We have to leave the first thing in the morning, and you can be sure that we all hope you have nothing but peace.
Thank you. Come, Susan. We better go now.
It's a pretty bad night. I'll get my poncho and go with you.
But if you wish. Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Sort of wish I was going too. It's the end of the world.
Well, it's not the end of the world, but it could have been the end of Miss Susan.
What do you mean?
Well, if she'd been sitting at that organ, she'd have been killed when that thing came down.
Oh, what a narrow escape.
See that they get home safely, Lucky.
I will.
By golly, Hoppy, that could have been a terrible accident.
You've got it wrong, California. It'd have been murder.
Murder?
Sure, that beam wasn't rotted or cracked. It's been sawed almost in two, and it was done very recently.
Then whoever done it,
Wanted to kill that girl because she's the only one that ever sits there.
I'll split him like a rack of spare ribs. I'll tear him limb from limb. Say, how did he know that someone would be sitting there when that thing fell?
I don't know. He must have figured on the vibrations of that organ to break this thing loose. But in this case, that clap of thunder did it. Fortunately, she wasn't sitting there. I'd like to get to the bottom of this thing. A deserted town, a lot of killings, and nobody around but two women and a deacon.
You know something, Hoppy? There's somebody else around here.
You know something else? Sometimes your deductions are phenomenal.
I'm a pretty smart fella. Where are you going?
I'll be back in a minute. You get some sleep.
Me sleep. There it goes again. Even the dead couldn't sleep in this place.
Oh, don't worry. I don't think anything else will happen tonight.
Susan and her mother are home safe.
I hope they are safe.
What do you mean?
Well, that beam falling was no accident. It had been sawed. Somebody hoped she'd be sitting at the organ when it fell.
Well, why should anyone...
I don't know, Lucky. Let's forget about it for now, huh? By the way, how did you make out with Miss Susan?
Oh, Hoppy, she's a wonderful girl.
There he goes again.
Gee, it sounds like somebody's breaking the place up.
Yeah, and it ain't termites. This is the busiest church I ever saw in my born days.
Oh, you should try going into one some Sunday. You'll find a lot of people there.
What's the idea of starting on that wall? What's going to hold the roof up?
You said we was going to tear the joint down, didn't you?
Sure, but you start from the top, not the bottom, generally. All right, get up on that roof.
Hello, boys.
Who are you?
The name's Cassidy. I don't think I got yours.
Riker. What are you doing here?
Well, it was storming last night, if you remember, and we came in here for shelter. I see the sun's shining out now. Must be a nice day outside.
It is. So why don't you and your boys get out there and enjoy it while you can?
Listen, mister, my friends and I have been enjoying good health for a long time. We expect to keep right on doing it. Now, what's your business here?
Well, I'll tell you. It's a good thing you were here last night.
How's that?
Because this church ain't going to be here tonight. We're tearing it down.
Mr. Cassidy, did I hear right when this man said he was going to tear our church down?
You heard right, miss. Since when has it been your church?
I think the young lady means that she and her mother come here to worship, and the church belongs to whoever uses it.
Look, Hoppy, why are you arguing with this man? Let's throw him out of here and not worry Miss Susan anymore.
Son, you got more nerve than you got brains. You're in a place where they used to give them burial services. And that's what you're going to get if you don't shut up.
I think we've done enough arguing. Unless you've got the legal right to tear this place down, you're not touching a stick of it.
You ain't the law around here. I got as much right to tear it down as you got to sleep in it. And I got the men to back me up. Now get this straight. You're getting out and I'm staying here.
Gentlemen.
Oh, Mr. Black, I'm so glad you've come. There's trouble here.
Yes, I gather that from the doorway. Have patience and faith, child. I'll do what I can. I don't know you men, but you've chosen a place of peace to make trouble. May I ask what the difficulty is?
Mr. Deacon, I'd like to baptize that critter with a little hot lead.
That's enough, California. Mr. Black, Miss Susan has told us about you, and we're glad you came.
In that case, I think you should put your gun away.
Mr. Black, I can't understand why anyone would want to tear this church down without reason.
Tear it down? Are you thinking of doing such a thing?
No, I am. And you and all your gospel can't stop me.
Who owns this church?
I don't know. Since Coltsville has become a deserted town, it'd be hard to say. It was built by public donation.
Well, then that's all the more reason it should be preserved. Well, my father rests outside, so I guess you know what it means to us. And I'm sure you want it to remain, Deacon.
Yes, Susan. I've stayed on here with the hope that someday we'd have a congregation of good people back on these benches. See it go now and shatter what little we have left. May I ask why you want to destroy this building?
Sure, I found out that nobody owned the place and we need finished lumber. I'm building a mining camp a little way up the trail.
Who ever heard of such a thing? Somebody has got to stop him.
We'll do what we can, won't we, Hoppy?
Well, I think that's up to Mr. Black.
I came here today, as I do every morning and every evening, for self-meditation.
Self-whose?
Meditation. You should try it sometime.
I'm not a man of violence, and I can't condone it. If the building must go, it must go, because actually it has ceased to be a place of worship.
Well, when are you leaving? I got work to do.
As soon as I'm sure you're a lot of miles from here. You're not tearing this building down so long as these people want it to stand.
I'd have bet he'd say that.
Me too. I got sort of a liking for this place myself.
Yeah. when no one's playing the organ or ringing bells.
So that's it. You're staying.
That's right.
All right. But I'll be seeing you soon again.
It's a big country.
That's what I've heard.
If you live long enough to get around to seeing it.
All right, come on.
Thank you, Mr. Cassidy.
We owe you a great debt of gratitude. You've saved our church.
I'm not so sure about that. I have a feeling those men are coming back, if only out of vengeance. If my daughter and I had been here alone, we could have reasoned with them instead of using threat.
Mother, they'd never have listened to us. Mr. Cassidy did the only thing possible.
Well, my method might have been wrong, but at least we won the argument. Well, we might as well get out of here.
Hoppy, if you don't mind, I'd like to stay on for a while. Those men might come back if they think we've all gone, and, well, at least they won't have their own way of it.
All right, Lucky, and if anything comes up, you can get word to me at the ranch.
As long as one of your men's staying, I'll be leaving too. Goodbye, friend.
Goodbye, sir.
And bless you, Susan.
Goodbye, Mr. Cassidy.
Goodbye, Susan. California, will you get our horses? Lucky, come and help me with the gear.
Oh, ma'am. Glad to have met you. I'm glad to be leaving.
You all right, California? You sure you're all right?
I don't know, Hoppy. How do I look?
Oh, they didn't get you.
They must have been waiting for us to come out. What if they got Mr. Black?
I don't know. I'll find out. Your mother get in the back.
See Mr. Black?
No, but I see plenty of others.
Reggie, take 2 men and cover them on the left. Joe, you and Mickey get round to the right. And Steve, take those others and get round to the back.
You think maybe they're gone?
I don't think so. It's like they're surrounding the place.
Doesn't make sense. First they want us to leave, and now they're shooting so we can't get out.
Makes sense if you meet up with one of them bullets. Then you're out for good.
One thing's certain, so long as they keep us in, we can keep them out. Lucky, you go back with the women and watch those windows. We'll take care of this up here.
Where do you want us? Right over here.
Take your mother over by the organ. Sit here, Mr. Crowell. Stay with your mother, Susan.
Be sure the boss is the only one that gets it. Well, what's wrong?
2 of the boys have been winged already. That isn't what they're being paid for, and some of them want to quit.
Listen, you know what you're here for, and so do the others. The boss would shoot you quicker than those guys in the church if I told about this. Now go back and get to work. Wait. I'll go along with you and give my little love message to our friends.
Susan, get down. I'm worried enough about you already.
Why, what do you mean?
Well, maybe I shouldn't tell you, but last night someone tried to kill you.
Kill me? Why? I don't understand.
Hoppy says that beam was deliberately sawed so that it would snap at the least vibration and fall on the organ bench where you were sitting. I hate to think of what could have happened.
Oh, let's not think about it. Mother's the one I'm worried about.
What's the matter with her? She seems quiet enough.
That's just what worries me. She hasn't changed her expression since the fighting began.
Well, maybe she's stunned from the shock of all this, and after all, it may be better. She won't know what's going on.
I don't know. Do you think we'll ever get out of here alive?
Listen to me, Susan. Hoppy won't let you down. I've been in lots of trouble with him before. He always figures a way out. And believe me, this time I'm going to do more than help.
I know you will. Still, I sure don't like the looks of things.
Hey, you people in the church. I want to talk to you.
Hoppy, he's out here.
We're listening.
Now you're showing some sense. I've got men on all sides of you, and you're licked, and you know it. But I'm going to give you a chance on account of the women you got with you.
All right, name it.
Throw your guns out the window and come out with your hands up.
And then what happens?
Then you'll be our prisoners till we get our work done here.
I've heard of better deals than that. Suppose we refuse.
There's just 3 things we can do. Burn you out, shoot you out, or stab you out. I'll give you just 1 minute to make up your minds.
Come on. You heard what Riker said?
Yes.
How do you feel about it?
I know what your answer would be. That's mine, too.
Good girl. Now listen. You know the song about the big bad piker?
Of course.
Fine. Now go up to the organ and play it as loud as you can.
You feel all right, Hoppy? This ain't no time for organ playing, unless you made up your mind we're going to heaven.
Oh, relax, California. The only place we're going is home. Right now, you and Lucky are going to sing. You both know the words.
Sure, but
Just change Piker to Riker. Go ahead.
Get me a chair, Lucky.
They're not in any hurry to give you an answer, Riker.
I'll give them just 1 more minute.
There was once an old man named Bad Riker who carried 2 guns and
Hey, what's
swore
that?
like a tiger.
I'd say somebody was playing an organ and singing a song. About you.
It seemed to be full of hot air, the old piker. There was once an old man named Bad Riker who carried 2 guns and swore like a tiger. He found he was mean, but to all he did seem to be full of hot air, the old piker. There was once
Shut up! Think they're going to make a fool of me, eh? Well, there's one way to stop them. Start throwing it.
he found
Guess our singing was pretty bad. Didn't think it was that bad.
Hoppy, I've never questioned you before, but I think that song made them all the matter.
That's just what I wanted. California, you better get back to the window. They might try to move in.
When they're moving, it's always old California that's left to greet them.
Come over here. I'll tell you what I had in mind.
Get to the window. Do that, do the other. It's always doggone.
I figured that song would make Riker mad, and when a man gets mad, he's liable to do most anything.
What do you mean, Hoppy?
He might give me a chance to get out of here.
Why, Lucky said you'd never let us down.
Oh, you misunderstand, Susan. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and there's only one conclusion. These men don't want this place just for the lumber to build a camp.
That's been puzzling me, too, but I don't get the answer.
I know, Lucky. It all has to do with the killings and desertions of this little town.
But these men are all strangers here.
I know, Susan. If I can only get out of here, I have an idea where I can get some important information. And probably find out what these men are after.
I think it's us.
Come on, Lucky, get back.
Now get this. We'll keep up a steady fire from the front and the left side of the building while you creep around the back. When you get within 50 feet of the place, light this and throw it up on the roof. They'll be in front shooting at us, so you shouldn't have any trouble. You got matches? All right, let's go.
ringing the bell.
Now, one of these days, I'm going to ring your neck, but I guess that's a long ways off.
I hope so.
They're concentrating on the front of the building. I'm going out through that back room.
Wherever you're going, good luck.
Thanks. I'll be back sometime tonight.
We'll take care of things here.
Fine. If you need any extra ammunition, it's in my saddlebag. So long.
He's leaving?
Yeah, come on.
I'll go over the boys and see who's shooting who. Coming?
Go ahead. I'm too tired to get killed. Besides, I gotta watch the camp.
do now?
The boss says the one to get is the leader. So we'll be waiting for him. Now remember, no more shooting, but keep your eyes open.
Come and get it.
Beans again. Doggone it.
What's the window?
Them fellas expect me to keep on fighting. The least they can do is send me over a decent meal. With all the shooting going on, and work up a powerful appetite.
Forget it and eat what you can while you can.
Where's Mother?
Wasn't she with you?
Who wasn't where with who?
Mother, you scared me for a minute. Why did you go in there?
I wanted to be alone, that was all.
Here's something to eat.
I don't want it.
Mother, I know this is a terrible thing for you to go through, but, well, you're not helping yourself any. Please, believe these men are doing their best.
We must get out of here.
That's impossible.
You see. Now let me alone, Susan.
I wonder what's the matter with her.
Oh, nothing.
Yeah. Wish I could say the same thing about Hoppy. I wish to know where he went and what he went for. Probably needs my help, too.
You usually need his help when you go along.
That ain't true. You're the one he's always helping out. If it ain't out of danger, it's out of some darned romance.
We should stop talking like that. Besides, Hoppy can get along fine without either of us. I wish I could be more sure of that right this minute. Come on, eat those beans. We've got to get back to Windows.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, clerk!
Doggone it, what's the idea of waking up a man at this hour? For 2 pins, I'd have the law on you.
Wait a minute, Tom. Don't you recognize your friends after sundown?
I ain't got any friends with as bad manners as... Hoppy, well, I'll be darned. Say, what can I do for you?
Well, if you come down and open the door, I'll be glad to tell you.
I'll be right down, Hoppy. Come on in. Come in, Hoppy. My goodness. You know, I can always get my sleep, but I can't always see a friend like you.
Thanks, Tom.
It's all right. You know, you haven't changed a bit.
Think not?
No, not one little bit. Say, how about a snifter? It's an awful cold
Oh,
night.
no, thanks, Tom.
No? Oh, sit down.
Say, I had to wake you up, Tom, but I got something pretty important on my mind. I might as well get right at it.
Well, sure. Go right ahead, Hoppy.
You know all about the history of Coltsville, don't you?
Oh, I sure do. And an awful black one it is, Hoppy. What with all the killing and kidnapping, why, that place is practically a ghost town. I just wouldn't want any part of it.
No, I wouldn't either, but apparently somebody would.
Well, I don't follow you, Hoppy.
I don't follow myself so well, Tom. I want you to do me a favor.
Why, oh, sure. What is it?
You've got a record of the deeds and property holders of Coltsville, haven't you?
Oh, sure. Right over here, Hoppy. Yeah, everything in the county has to be registered right here in this book.
Mm-hmm.
Coltsville is, or was, such a little town that there won't be much trouble to, oh, that thing always bothers me.
Does, huh?
Yeah.
There.
Oh, I never thought of that. There you are. There's the whole shooting caboodle on Coltsville.
Well, it seems this one party's been buying a lot of that property.
Yes, I remember her well. She's an awful smart woman if that town is ever built up again, because she bought all that stuff just dirt cheap.
When did you see her last?
Oh, she was in here just last week. Wanted to put in a bid on the old church over there. I asked her if she was aiming to preach the gospel, and she said yes. And that her first text was going to be how to mind one's own business. Shucks, I guess she meant that for me.
Oh, she couldn't have.
Well, Well, anyway, I told her that she couldn't buy the church because the county didn't own it. That church was built by subscription and would belong to the village of Coatesville as long as it stood.
Well, sure it would. Well, I guess I found out all I want to know.
Well, maybe you have, Hoppy, but I haven't. You know, Hoppy, there's trouble a-brewing in any pot that you stir.
There is, Tom, and plenty of it.
Well, you're going to have a hard time getting a posse together this time of night.
Maybe you can do something along those lines. Come on.
Riker wants all of you up by the rock.
Sneaked up to the window, hit me in the head with a sledgehammer and get away. There was 3 others with him, but I think I got them all.
Dream up another one like that and we can go home.
How come?
There won't be anybody left to fight.
Mrs. Crow, stay away from that door.
Don't try to stop me. I'm leaving
Now,
here.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but you can't go another step.
You desecrator.
I am not. I'm a Presbyterian.
Mother, what's the trouble?
This one and his friends have brought all this trouble upon us. I'm going out to the other men and tell them to come and tear or burn the place down. It's a refuge for the bad rather than the good. What are they fighting for? I say let them take it.
But I thought you loved this place, as I do.
It must come down. And in its place will arise something greater and better.
Mother, you don't know what you're talking about. You can't. Now, please, come on. We'll go and sit down.
I wonder what's come over her.
Well, I don't know. It's either a case of the whim-whams or something that Hoppy ought to know about.
What do you mean?
Well, she's mighty suspicious to me. Could be in cahoots with those men.
Oh, that's silly. You can't make me believe a fine girl like Susan would have a mother.
If you're looking for a mother-in-law, I wouldn't pick on that lady. Who is it?
Me, Black.
Black. Hi, Deacon.
Good evening. Good evening.
How'd you get here all in one piece?
Well, I went to the camp of those men and demanded that they let me through their lines. It's my daily habit to visit here, and no one shall stop me.
Mighty brave of you.
Oh, Mr. Black. Mr. Black.
Good evening, child.
So glad you're here. I wish you'd talk to Mother. She needs your help.
Of course, Susan. I'll be glad to.
There's a good man.
You betcha.
Mrs. Crowell, I can understand your sentiments. I've fought for the preservation of this place, but my fighting is mental, not physical. Let us pray.
You know, California, sometimes I wish we'd led a better life. Quiet and settled down.
I tried it once, Lucky.
Yeah?
Yeah. Bought myself a nice little shack and a harmonica. Didn't go out for 2 whole months. But it just didn't seem to work out.
Why not?
I forgot to learn how to play the harmonica. Say, what time is it?
10 o'clock. Hoppy should be back by now.
Yeah, and I'll bet when he does come, he don't get no free passage like the deacon did.
Riker wants some hot coffee. It's cold out in them woods.
It'll be hot in a couple of minutes. I just put it on.
Bring it out when it's ready.
I got coffee. Where's Riker and the boys?
They're all over to the left of the church. Riker just called them in for new orders.
Thanks.
Say, wait a minute. I could use some of that hot coffee.
Well, help yourself.
That's Smithy. Something's happened. Spread out and shoot straight.
Lucky, you know something?
Yes, since I met you yesterday.
Little country church is as wonderful as a great cathedral, because it stands for the same things.
Like marriage?
Yes. My mother and father were married here. Perhaps I should be too.
You know, this is the place I'd like to be married.
I've always heard that you kissed the bride after the ceremony. A fine army I have. One has his eyes wide open with love, and the other has his eyes closed with sleep. Hey!
Hiya, Hoppy. I was just closing my eyes to make believe you was his.
Sure.
Ain't a thing happened since you left.
Except one shot that I know of.
Yeah?
But that one didn't do any harm.
This is a pleasant surprise. I saw you were missing when I arrived tonight. But I made no inquiry because I thought you'd been...
Well, seeing you here is just as much of a surprise. How did you make it?
As I told him, I went to the camp of those men and demanded that they let me through. Then they asked me to bring you a message.
Well, the only message I want from them is that they'll clear out of here.
You mean we have a chance?
We can get out?
Well, it's possible. I've learned a few things that might save the church and a lot of killings. I went to the county clerk in Fenwell, and among other things, I found that this church belongs to the town of Coltsville. It can't be bought and it can't be sold so long as it stands. To be honest, I don't know why anyone wants the place, other than for a sentimental or a religious reason.
I think this Riker and his men are the same opinion, as far as rights are concerned. That's probably why they let me come here to tell you this. They're hard men, rough, unscrupulous men. But I think my talk with them did some good. They withdraw and allow you free exit if you leave tonight.
Do you suggest that we do that?
Oh, I'm sorry to say it, but I do. I would rather see this building destroyed than lives in defense of it.
I think you're right. Staying here proves nothing but that death is convenient to a church graveyard. You think you can get back to those men safely?
Why, yes.
Tell them that we're leaving this morning, but we're coming back. That you don't tell them. I don't want you to be too confident that I have enough information to get to the bottom of this. I still don't know what it's all about, but I've got a hunch who's behind it.
Well, may I ask what you know?
It's very little, and what I do know is all based on suspicion. But sometimes that can be as strong as the rope around a man's neck.
My friend, gratitude has no depths. All I can say is, I'll deliver your message, and I appreciate from the bottom of my heart what you've told me. Good night.
Good night, sir.
Mr. Black, you're leaving? Please take me with you.
You'd better stay here with Mr. Cassidy, my dear. Susan, take care of your mother.
But...
Please, Mrs. Crowell.
Well, maybe now we can all get a little sleep.
We still don't know what's going to happen here tonight. We better get back to the windows. It'll be daylight before long.
Never spent so much time on a window since Ma put a candle in one when Pa was at the saloon.
Now get this straight. This is going to be the payoff. When we go in there, I want each one of you to make your bullets count. We're going to rush the place, and we're not coming out till it's cleaned up.
What about the women?
Ain't your fault if they get in the way.
I don't like it.
You'll do what you're told. I'm giving the orders around here.
What'd you just say, Riker?
Oh, nothing, boss. I didn't know you were back. I was just telling the boys what we were going to do.
You're going to do nothing until I tell you to. Remember? No further shooting.
Hold it, Lucky. The man's wounded. Let's see what he's up to. This place is getting busier than a barn at a cattle auction.
California, let him in.
Me let him?
Go on, open the door.
I sure hope you're an enemy, because I hate to kill a friend.
Let him in. Why did you come here?
I have something to tell you.
Well, go on. Put him on that bench and do what you can for him.
Get his feet. Well, do something. Get a man some water. Oh, stay here. I'll get it. Hold it, Lucky. Here, son. Drink this. Here, take it easy. Hoppy, this man's pretty bad hurt.
Do what you can for him.
Uh-oh. That bell's gonna ring again. Keep back. What's you doing, Hoppy?
But who was that?
Mr. Black.
The deacon.
I can't believe it.
Hoppy, does that smell like oil?
It is oil, California.
It's oil, all right. I met Riker one night, and he found out I was an oil man, and he forced me to his house with a gun. Riker was working for a man who had found oil, but didn't know how to get it out. That was going to be my job.
That's why he killed or scared everyone until they left town so he could take over.
How did you know all this?
I accidentally ran across a Bible up there that had a name inscribed in it. And through that, I found out who was buying all this property. It was a woman.
I knew it all the time.
Oh, no, it wasn't your mother, Susan. It was a woman by the name of Mary Brewster. That's the name I found in the Bible. She was his sister.
Hoppy, we forgot about the others.
No, I didn't, and neither did Tom, the county clerk. Look out there. Well, we better get our gear together. California, get him bandaged up. Oh, Mrs. Crowell, I'm sorry this has been such a trying ordeal. But at least you have your church.
Thank you.
You'll find a couple of them in the church. Better take care of them, too. Thanks for everything, Tom.
Oh, that's all right, Hoppy. It's a sure a nice way to start out a day, you know, holding up a lot of gophers. Say, they're an ugly-looking bunch, ain't they? What are they after, Hoppy?
Oil. Ground under the old church is full of it. Well, you might as well take them in, Tom. Maybe they can find some oil under the old jailhouse.
We'll sure give them a lot of time to try it. Well, now that the shooting's over, I suppose you'll be heading for home, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. Looks like I'm going to have a slight delay.
I hope you've forgiven me, ma'am, because, well, I really did think that you...
Oh, you're a fine man. You saved me from something I couldn't control because I thought the old church was lost.
Oh, shucks. It ain't often I get the chance to help a fine-looking woman out of trouble.
Why, Mr. California, you are a gentleman.
I am.
Will I see you again, Susan?
I'll be here, Lucky, whenever you want to come back.
Well, so long, everybody.
I wasn't expecting you to leave so soon, Mr. California.
Well, but I'll be seeing you, Mrs. Crowell.
Goodbye, Susan.
Goodbye, Lucky.
So long, Tom.
Go on, Hoppy. Hoppy. Mighty fine woman, that Mrs. Crowell.
Yeah, she is.
Gee, I'm gonna miss Susan.
Yeah, she's a nice girl. Make you a fine wife, too. But there's only one hitch.
What's that?
You're liable to have him for a father-in-law.